Okay, so today we'll start with geography. Okay, in this we'll cover the chapter on changing environments. Okay, so changing environment, as in on Earth, how is the environment changing, or how the landforms are changing? Like on the Earth, river flows, glaciers flows, wind also blows from one place to another, and because of these movement, what all new landforms are created, and how these things uh, basically change forms on the earth, that we'll see. Okay, so on broad level, you can say that there are two types of changes in the environment. One is endogenic and another is exogenic. Okay, so as the name suggests, endo means internal, okay, or exo means external. So endogenic means something that is occurring from within. We know that the earth at its core is the molten lava, okay, and that lava is continuously in movement. So because of that movement, there are some changes that occur. Sometimes this surface, like when volcano becomes active, volcano erupts, what comes? Then lava comes out of it. Okay, so then there are movement in the plates of the earth on the lithosphere. Lithosphere is the outermost layer of earth. Okay, and when there is movement in the lithosphere, there is earthquake, and because of earthquake, what happens? That buildings collapse because there is a movement on the earth surface. Got it? So there are two examples of movement of lava. One is the volcano, other is the movement in the lithosphere. So when volcano comes, what happens? Volcano becomes active. The lava from within the earth surface, it comes out of the earth surface, and that lava freezes, uh, uh, and that new mountain is formed after that lava freezes. Okay, then another movement is the movement in the lithosphere. Movement in the lithosphere means when it causes the earthquake. Okay, and when earthquake comes, generally that movement is only in one place, but just like a wave, it traverses to a long distance. So that center is called epicenter. Where earthquake comes, the highest maximum impact comes on that center, which is epicenter. And from the epicenter, like a wave, it moves in all the direction. So as it goes farther, it reduces the impact, but at the epicenter the impact is maximum. Okay, and at around those area the buildings collapse. Got it? So this was the endogenic forces. Now let us go to the exogenic forces. Now, exo, as the name suggests, exo means external. Okay, so the changes that occur outside the Earth crust. Okay, so outside the Earth crust, what are the changes that occur? Like because of movement of moon, tidal waves occur. You know this fact. You know this because of movement in the moon, earthquake, this high tide, low tide in the sea comes. Got it? And because of sun's radiation, there are changes in the environment. Okay, then there are erosion that happens. What is erosion? So like you say that wind blows from one part of earth to another part because of pressure changes. You know this fact. When the pressure is low and the temperature is high, wind blows from one point to another point, right? So when the wind blows, it takes some dust from one part and it goes and deposits it on the other part. So on one side it has eroded, erosion happened, and on other side where it deposited, deposition happens, right. So this erosion happens, this erosion happens because of wind and because of water. So because of wind, what happens? That sand dunes are formed. So how are sand dunes formed? Sand dunes you have seen, Tanishka? Have you seen sand dunes?
No, sir.
Sand dunes are like a mountain of small mountain of uh, sand. Generally in desert places, this small mountain of sand is found. Okay, so what happens when wind blows? It takes away sand along with it. So from one part, sand is taken and it is deposited at one place. So what happens that when lot of deposition happens at one place, it becomes like a hill. Okay, so that way sand dunes are formed. Similarly, you must have seen mushroom rocks. You know what is mushroom rock?
No, sir.
You know mushroom, how mushroom looks?
Yes,
Mushroom looks
sir.
like umbrella, na? Like an umbrella. On top
Yes.
it is broad and bottom it is narrow, just like
Yes.
umbrella. So that kind of rocks are found in desert, and that happens because of wind. And you know why it happens? Because
Why?
wind, it takes more dust and more elements from the bottom of rock. So suppose there is a rock in desert. So when wind goes, it takes more dust from the bottom. Because of that, there is more erosion in the bottom. So bottom becomes very narrow, 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 and the top remains like that. So it becomes like a mushroom. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Then similarly, erosion also happens because of water. Okay. Now let's see how are the different forms of erosion because of water. So one water body is river. So river, we know river, it comes from the mountain, it goes in the plain, and finally it merges in the sea. Okay. So when it comes from the mountain and goes into the plain, what it does, it takes a curvature path. Curvature path, like it is called meanders. So that curved path that river takes is called meanders. Got it? And
Yes.
sometimes what happens that after the meander has become very broad, it river gets connected directly, and because of that thing, oxbow lakes are formed. Oxbow is like, you know uh, how the horn of ox looks like. So in that shape, the lakes are formed. Then from river, flood also comes. When there is excess water in the river, it floods in the nearby areas, right? And when it floods in the nearby area, after some time when water goes away or it subsides, then the soil that it has got from mountains and other places, it deposits over there. Okay, so because of that deposition, a very fertile land is formed, and that land is very productive. When crops are grown over there, it becomes very productive. Got it? Then
So, what
second,
is the meaning of productive?
productive means when you sow the seeds, it will result into lot of production. Got it? So when you
Okay, sir.
so there is it's very fertile because the land is very, it has lot of nutrients. Hmm. Then second form of
Hmm.
water is sea. So what happens? Sea also, you see, waves always come in sea, and because of that continuous movement, it deposits sand on the beach, and because of that, beaches are formed. Beaches are a bit different from the other landforms. You see, the sands are over there on the beach, and that sand has come because of sea waves. Got it?
Yes,
Then,
sir.
if suppose there is a hill near the sea, then what happens that these waves, they will come and they will strike the hill a lot of times. Because of that, a hole is formed, and that hole results into looks like a cave. Okay, when these waves come over a long period of time, it resembles cave. And sometimes these caves become so big that it looks like an arch. When the cave has become very big, it looks like just a structure, like an arch. And
So, what
sometimes
is arch?
arch is, you must have seen Gateway of India. that
Yes, sir.
that kind of structure is called arch. Like it is hollow, very hollow from
Okay.
within, and just a structure is there. Okay.
Hmm.
And sometimes what happens that even the top of the stack, top of the arch is also gone. So just pillars remain. That is called stacks. Okay. And then the third form of water is in the glaciers. So these glaciers are, you know what is glacier?
Sir, it comes from mountains. First, the mountains are the sun when gets the mountain heat, the 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 melted ice goes with the river.
Yes. So that frozen river is called glacier. Okay. And that glacier also moves just like our normal river. That frozen river also moves. And because of that movement, it also takes some big stones along with it. And finally, when it merges into the sea, it deposits that big stones in the nearby area. So that deposition is called moraine. Got it? So we learned
Yes.
so many things today, so many new things. Can you just give a brief of what you learned, or if you have any questions, we can go through that.
Sir, I didn't understand the group of endogenic forces.
Endogenic forces. So
Yes, sir. Can you please explain it again?
endogenic means something that is coming from within. So from the surface of Earth, what is within the Earth? It is molten lava. You know that, and that lava is continuously in motion. So because of that movement, some changes occur. Sometimes that because of movement, lava suddenly goes up on the surface. So from within the mountain, it comes out. So mount on the top of mountain, you see that lava is coming out of it. So volcano erupts because of that. So that is endogenic movement. And also because of that movement, the earthquake also comes because the top layer of Earth, it has plates, and those plates move.
Okay, sir. The big plates.
Yes, they are very big plates. On a single plate, entire South India is there. That is called Deccan Plateau. So, you have any more doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, okay, that's all. Then we can just finish this up. Okay, thank you. Bye
Okay,
bye.
sir. Bye. Thanks.